Okay, so my segment will be quite short. I will be taking just 15 minutes. So I'm just going to run through with you where is actually Kent Ridge Hill and what does we have in terms of the strata here. Okay, so Kent Ridge is actually a condo that is a nature that is in the city. So it's very near to the nature because you actually have a gate that is leading all the way straight to the Kent Ridge Hill Park. Okay, but yet you are very near to all the offices and the city itself. Okay, so the good thing is that in terms of Kent Ridge Hill, we are actually very near to the Greater Southern Waterfront City, which is about 6 times the size of Marina Bay, and it stretches all the way from the capital side to the Pasir Panjang side. So it's a huge development that I think a lot of us will have already known by the announcement from the government itself. I think our Prime Minister have announced it during the National Day rally in 2019. So this is where the government is putting their focus for the next 5-10 years. Okay, so next, what is going to happen here is that they are going to build 9,000 residential units, which comprise of HDB, private condo, etc., etc. So end of the day, I would say that in terms of all these things coming up with all the infrastructure, all the facilities, all the amenities coming up, the prices and the land of this area will definitely be moving towards the higher side. So Kent Ridge is bought is a land that is en bloc back in I think 2018. So the land is bought in terms of the prices that we look at compared to today is bought relatively quite low. Later I'm going to share with you some of the landed prices, the strata landed prices that I'm going to show you. Okay, so just now Jip have mentioned that about some of the factors that we want to take note if we are going into a strata landed. So we can actually go through and see whether all these things are factors that you see in Kent Ridge Hill itself. Okay, so where are we? We are actually 600 meters away from the mega transformation. So in fact, we will actually gain a lot of opportunity in terms of infrastructure improvement. Pasir Panjang used to be an area that is very quiet, a lot of low-rise condo, landed properties, but we are quite near to the town. But it in itself is, is a very quiet town to begin with. But now with all the things coming in, I think this is a place that I personally, whenever I travel down there, I see, a home to that I want to stay in because it's so nice in terms of the greenery, everything that is built in. Plus, you are actually short distance to like VivoCity, like the CBD area, all these things. So you're actually on the center of both sides. One side is to the One North area, which is already having a lot of tech company, all these things. The other side is towards the CBD itself. So you are right smack in between, which in terms, if you look at it, you would not have problem in terms of getting tenants. Even if you are getting a strata, I would say that as an investment point of view, you'll be getting good traction of tenants coming in. Why? Because there is also a good amount of tenants that is looking for landed properties. But end of the day, the difference between a pure landed and a strata is that strata there is still facilities to begin with. So in fact, what I've seen myself is that in terms of rental market, the strata usually demand a higher rental. So because of the facilities, all these things that especially for foreigner tenants that is looking for, so they want all these things to be in place. So strata landed usually give you good, quite decent rental yield. But of course, all the things that Jip have mentioned is important, like the amenities around, the size of the land, because I think Ray have mentioned that the number of units for the strata landed is important. So in Kent Ridge Hill is a bit different. It's a mixture of condo and strata. So you actually have a huge plot of land that you have all the facilities inside. And you, in terms of strata itself, there's already 50 units of strata landed. Okay, so we are actually very near to the Science Park 1 and 2, Maple Business City, and One North, and therefore you will have a lot of quality tenants that is coming to your way. Because you can see that Kent Ridge is here. This is where the Science Park, everything is, and this is where the Maple Tree Business District is. And if you move further down, this is where the CBD is. Okay. Okay, so now we have even have two schools that is nearby, NUS and NUS, that is the school that is nearby, and we actually have Science Park 1 and 2, just now what I mentioned, Maple Tree Business District, CBD area. Okay, so one north is also. So in terms of the distance to the MRT, which is one of the very, very important factor, because in terms of landed, I myself is also looking at landed property, but landed is sometimes, you want to get something that's near MRT, there is very limited number of units there, because landed estates can be quite huge, so some of them can be quite far in. So usually landed owner are usually most of them are driving, but this is different because this is a strata, so it's very important to be near MRT. So we actually try out ourselves. It's about 8 minutes walk to the Pasir Panjang MRT, which is the nearest MRT that we are nearby. So we walk ourselves before. It's about 8 minutes distance. Okay. So in terms of the Pasir Panjang MRT, we are actually quite connected. Okay, where are we connected? Because we are in the Circle Line. Circle Line is somewhere that why is it called Circle Line? Because it's connected to many different lines across Singapore. So it's like a circle that you can just change along the way. So we are 3 stops to One North MRT, 3 stops to Harbourfront MRT, and 7 stops to Marina Bay MRT by the year of 2025. Why do I say the year of 2025? Later I'll share a bit more. But if you can see, is very near to each other, everything. So 6 minutes drive to Vivo City, 10 minutes drive to CBD. That is the reason why Pasir Panjang, in terms not just the strata, even the condo units are having quite a decent amount of rental yield, because the foreigners or the PRs is coming here to work, they will actually want to rent here. Because if you want to get somewhere that is not too near to the town, not too cluttered, but yet you have the short distance to work, and you also have the greenery to begin with, this is somewhere that a lot of people will put their focus on. Okay, so why do I say that it's 2025? Because this will complete the Circle Line, because the rest of the Circle Line is already completed, only this part. The Keppel, Cantonment, Prince Edward Road, and actually Marina Bay is already there. So this part will be completed in 2025, which means that you can link straight away from Pasir Panjang MRT all the way to Marina Bay. I think this is something that is very important. So buying in now, I mean, in future there will be all this linkage that is done for you. I think this will help you greatly in terms of your appreciation and also your rental yield. Okay. So Kent Ridge Hill is 548 units. In terms of the development itself, consists of 498 normal condo unit and 50 strata landed. So if you can see in this location itself, within 1 kilometer, most of the condo in Pasir Panjang area are all 100 over units. Why most of them are 100 over units? Because there is a height restriction of 5-story. For all the condos here, you can see that it's all low rise. So if you want a condo like this, 548 units with strata landed inside, you need a huge plot of land, which you can see here very clearly. You see the land of Kent Ridge Hill is very big, because it is quite difficult to get another condo or another development here in this vicinity itself to have 400-500 units in future. And this is extremely important, because with more units, with bigger land, you have more facilities. Later I'm going to show you some of the pictures of Kent Ridge Hill, and this will actually help you bring up your value and also your rental also. Okay, so what's the project detail is 548 units developed by Oxley Development. Okay, 50 units of strata. Every unit will come with 1 car park lots. Okay, and expected TOP is 2024, but from what I know, we might be able to complete next year, maybe 3rd quarter. Okay, so we are almost 91% sold as of now. Out of the 50 strata unit, 35 is sold. Today we have a current of 15 units left. So there's a total of 300,000 square feet of land and Kent Ridge, which you can see from this plot. You see it's a huge condo, of a huge development. All these are all the stratas. Okay, and these are the typical condo units, all 5 stories high. Okay, and you can see that where I circle here, this is where all the strata are located. So it's approximately about 4 to 8 meters higher compared to the road. Okay, so you actually is a bit of elevated, because this development itself is more elevated on this corner. So the strata is all gathered in this side. Okay. Okay, so these are some of the pictures that we have. You can see that because of the huge plot of land and the number of units that is involved, you have very nice facilities and nice visage of the whole area. You can see it from the artist's impression, very, 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 very modern type of look. But with all the things that you want, tennis court, swimming pool, all these things will be in place. So that's the main difference between a smaller strata-landed and a bigger size development, because small one, if they want to build swimming pools, all these things, there will be a lot of cost that is added into the monthly maintenance fee. So, but for big developments, usually that it will be shared among even the condo owners. So you do not need to pay so much, which is one of the critical factor when you want to sell in future. Because if your maintenance fee is too high, it's also difficult to offload the property itself. Okay, so you are actually sitting in a quiet and serene environment. Even the condo itself is built with a lot of greenery, because like what I mentioned earlier, just right behind there's a gate. You open up, you can reach all. You can straight away, there's a staircase. You can go up to Kent Ridge Park. Okay, so in Kent Ridge Park, you can link all the way to the VivoCity side. I walk myself, is quite a distance away, but of course you still can go there. Okay, so I still have 2 minutes to go. I will run through. So these are some of the pictures that you can see: arrival, floating gym, waterside banquet area, main facilities area. Okay. Strata-landed, you can see from here, is actually quite nicely built. If you are interested, you can make a trip down to have a look itself. Okay. So you can see there's our 5-bedroom strata are fully sold, so we are left with the 4-bedroom, which is all located in this area. You can see the slight gray, the circle in the red color one, all the strata landed for the 4-bedroom itself. I'm going to show you some of the floor plans. So these are the floor plans. So 3-story. It's a basement, first and second story. So the entrance will be on the. Usually there will be come with a car park lot. So the good thing about Kent Ridge is that usually for strata landed, I've seen some of the other developments, they charge you based on 2 car park lots. So this lot will be included in terms of the size, but in Kent Ridge they only put 1. So which means this space, actually no one will park in front of you also, but this space will be given to you almost like free. So in fact, you only pay for a smaller size that is for the car park itself. Okay, so you can have 1 entrance here and 1 more entrance on the 1st story. So the price now is starting from 2.976 million, which is, if you look at the condo prices, a lot of larger condo are already transacting at 2.5 to 2.8 million range for the mass market area. So in terms of the price that you're getting now, I think this is quite a decent price to begin with. Okay, so I've end my sharing on them in terms of the strata, but just one last thing, there's branded appliances, fittings, and smart home system. They are giving appliances like Garganoi, all these things that is very, very high end. So yeah, if you are interested, just do contact any of the salesperson and they can show you around. Okay. One last thing, sorry, 448 for the maintenance. Okay, I hand it back to Shami.
Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you,
Alex. Hi, Jip.
Thank you very much.
I know you for so long already.
Yes.
Good to have you today here. So, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, take over now.
Thank you, Shamin, and very good morning to all the audience. And yeah, my name is Jip Ng. Yeah, a very good Sunday to all of you, and it's a Sunday, and I'm really happy to see all of you. So many of you here, more than 700 of you here are coming in to find out what is happening in the landed market. And myself today, I'm going to actually share with you some of the information and the maybe future prospect for strata landed. I saw some questions coming in. I hope after the session, I think you will have a better understanding on strata landed market and so on. Right. So everybody, yeah, good morning. I think I see some of the familiar name here. Right. So if you guys think that you learned a lot from Ray Teo sharing earlier on the conventional market, can everybody put a 8 maybe? 8, right? Yes, Sabrina, Jasmine, thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Jasmine. Wow, so fast, I can't even read your name. Thank you very much. Yes, I see a lot of 8. Yes, 8 represent what? Right, so I wish all of you, right, are able to pick up a very good landed property. If you are looking for one, and moving forward, you will have all the what years. Right, so this is the opportunity for landed market or landed property, if you own one, I think you're among the top 5% of the Singaporean residential owners. So that is something that in terms of status, I'm sure your house value will be preserved, and over the time, you are able to get profit from it. Right, so without further ado, I also only have very limited time. I wish I had more time to share with all of you, but I need to adhere to the timing because today got many speakers lining up to share all the information with all of you, right? So I'm going to start my sharing now, right? Okay. Okay, my topic today will be buying a strata-landed home. Does it make sense to invest in one? I think this topic is quite interesting because in the past, I think from the Q&A earlier on, I also see that some of you think that, hey, strata-landed is actually so nice. You have the best of both worlds, right? You have the convenience of like the feel of a landed stay. At the same time, you are able to enjoy the condo facilities, and yet you don't have to be headache for all the maintenance because someone is going to take care of all your maintenance. You just have to monthly, regularly, you pay your maintenance fee. But why isn't the strata-landed appreciation not, to a lot of people might think that it's not as much as conventional landed property. Yeah, I think this statement is actually true in certain sense. But if you actually dive deeper, there are a lot of strata-landed owners are making good profit as well. Right, so there's something I'm going to share with you today. Right, buying a strata-landed home, does it make sense to invest in one home? My name is Jip Ng. Once again, allow me to do a bit of introduction of myself. Right, I'm more than 20 years in the market, and in the past, I have actually conducted many consumer seminars about the landed property topics. Right, and of course, that include the conventional and strata-landed, and I'm also doing a lot of research into the condominium new launches because I'm one of the chief IC representing PropNex for all our new condominium launches, right? And these are some of the topics that I've done in the past few years. And right, I'm also a trainer, training thousands and thousands of PropNexians in landed property as well, right? So I myself also in the past, I am heavily involved in landed property. That's why I have the knowledge to share. And now I really focus a lot on strata-landed. And today I'm here to share with you, moving forwards, what are you able to expect from strata-landed markets, right? Okay, good. So disclaimer, all this information I share is just for education purpose, for sharing, for references. And I mean, we will not be holding any responsibility if you actually go and invest something and you don't make profits. I have to make myself clear. These are all from our experience, and the data are all pulling out from the URA or from some of the property proctors. Right, so sit back, relax, and I hope you don't do any recording or don't do any photo taking. Just enjoy, relax, and then you absorb all the information that I'm going to put across to all of you, right? Okay, good. So 5 minutes over for my introduction, and now I'll start into the sharing proper, right? So, for the benefit of some of you, I just want to use this slide to explain to you what is actually strata-landed housing, right? All this is pulling out from the URA, the definition of a strata-landed. Comprise strata-titled landed housing unit occupying a common development site with shared communal facilities and a single vehicular access point, right? So compared to conventional, if you look into a project, if there's only one vehicle entrance, and that is actually classified under strata-landed, it will not be a conventional landed, right? Sometimes you drive by, you drive past, you might not be able to identify it. Is this conventional or strata-landed, especially the older townhouses, sometimes it can't really tell, right? So strata-landed also come with bungalow, semi-detached, and terraces, right? As I mean, it will be the same like conventional landed property, These are the three main different type of strata-landed. Of course, you have the GCB strata-landed as well. They are allowed to build strata-landed in GCB area, right? And these are the example of strata-landed, right? Belgravia Green is one of the freehold strata-landed in Sista Hill, This is number phase 2. Of course, they are coming out with phase 3 very soon. And the other one will be Park Oak Collection in Hougang Lorong 1 Realty Park. These are two recent example of strata-landed projects, right? Then, of course, strata-landed houses may be allowed within a flat development, meaning in a condominium, you are able to spot some strata-landed houses as well, right? So one of the recent example is actually our developer Oxley on the riverfront residences, very nice strata-landed housing, 2 row facing the river and is unblocked facing the pool, right? But it's already fully sold. And the other one is Affinity, also by Oxley, right, at Serangoon. Also, they have some strata-landed there. Is in District 19, all these two, right? And it's already fully sold at Affinity at Serangoon as well. So it proves that actually strata-landed are gaining popularity, right, over the last 1 year. We can see the take-up rate really increased. Later, I'm going to show you some data, right? So the other one Oxley has is the Cambridge Hill residences in District 5, Pasir Panjang area, right? It's a very, very interesting product, and I personally feel that staying in a strata-landed, having a low density environment make a lot of difference when you walk inside there, right? You don't see tall buildings. So this is one area whereby it's only 1.4 port ratios, and majority of them are even landed enclave, right? Some of the condo there, but some condos are found there, but the highest is only 5 stories. So this is really a low density living area, and it's quite hard to get a development that you are just next to the national park. The Cambridge Hill Park is over there. So you even have a side gate. So these are some of the recent example of those strata-landed houses inside a condominium projects. Right. So are they gaining popularity based on the take-up rate? I think, yes, we see very strong take-up rate in the last 1 year, right? And this is the overall strata-landed performance. I mean, in the past, after every crisis, what's going to happen to the strata? So this graph shown the average per square foot, right? In overall, meaning combination of old and new strata-landed, 99 and freehold. And you get this pattern of the take-up rate. And these are some of the crises in the past, dot-com bubble and the SARS in 2003. After that, you can see the strata-landed PSF start to climb up also, right? And when it comes to the 2008 global financial crisis, on the H1N1 flu periods, after that, the PSF of the strata-landed climb up. Right, again, when we come to TDSR, which is a cooling measure, and it really affect the whole property market across the whole Singapore, right? In 2013, the price came down, and after that, when people settling down, you can see the price start to climb again, right? So the big question to ask ourselves is actually today, we are in COVID-19 situation, but it's already proven that this pandemic actually doesn't cause Singapore property price to drop tremendously like before. But I think one of the good reasons is that the TDSR the government implemented is already in place, and everybody have a better holding power, right? So that allowed us to have a very healthy property market in Singapore, and that including the landed property. And landed property, all the index are a combination of conventional landed and strata landed property, right? So all these contributed to our index, and today, I don't know, I think every one of us believe that the price will continue to climb. It will behave the same as a 3 past post-crisis, right? And that is what we are experiencing now in the market, right? Okay, so past track record of strata landed, yes, we have 2 big boom market for, big boom cycle for Singapore residential market. One of them is actually from 2004 to 2008. But during this time round, the boom actually, altogether Singapore, we have like 4 categories of landed property, right? We have freehold conventional, we have 99 years conventional, we have 99 years strata, we have freehold strata landed housing, right? These are the 4 category of landed property in Singapore. But during the last 2 booming cycle, in 2004 to 2008, that period, actually freehold strata landed increased the most, right? It outperformed the other three categories, including the conventional landed property, right? And when it comes to the recent cycle, 2009 to 2013, in fact, 99 years strata landed increased the most, right? So meaning what? Meaning some of the owner owning strata landed are making profits, because these two booming cycle, actually, these are the two categories of landed that increase the most in terms of average per square foot, right? So if you are selling your strata landed in these two booming cycle, definitely I'm sure you'll be getting good profits back, right? So just now got one question asking why strata landed value are not able to hold, which I think it also one of the reasons is depend on at which point of time you exit out from your investment property or your staying property. I think that is very, very critical because property go up and down. And if you choose to sell during the downturn, definitely it might be suffering losses. But if you are able to hold onto it and you wait for opportunity like this to boom or the current market now, I'm sure you are able to sell at a very good return, right, based on your initial investment. Yeah, so these are the two cycles that are coming in the past two cycle, booming cycle, right? This is the article that came out from the Straits Times. So it's actually talking about the last cycle, which is the one that I've shown to you, right? And overall average per square foot for overall strata, average per square foot for overall strata landed housing from 1999 to 2021, we have seen a 191.35% increment, right? So that is about almost close to 5% per year kind of increment. That's overall strata landed housing average per square foot, right, in the last 20 years. And overall conventional landed actually down about 203, which is slightly above strata landed if you talk about the overall market, right, in the past 20 years, 5.17% per year. This is based on average per square foot. And if you talk about the recent one, the last 10 years, for new strata landed, we have seen about 56.54% increment, which is slightly above 5% for strata landed, right? Combined, it's a combination of new and old plus the freehold and 99. And of course, if you look at the last 10 years, new conventional landed, the increment is about 61.74%, which is about 5.49% per year. So if you base on last 10 years data, the two category of landed property actually in terms of average per square foot increment percentage per year is quite close to each other. Right, of course, this is just a general pictures, and if you dive deep into individual units, you might be able to see maybe some bigger differences, that kind of things. But it's just to give you a broad idea of how are these two groups of property performance, right? And recently also we have seen the last 2 years, you can see the volume, the pick-up volume for strata landed has already started to pick up, and it's getting stronger. Right, so this one, if you look back into the past year, once after the crisis, the thing will continue to pick up. And last cycle was actually a increment, a consecutive of 4 years in terms of volume increment after the last crisis, which is our TD, not crisis, the cooling measure, which affecting the Singapore property market in 2013. After that, you can see the drop in volume, but after that, it start to come back again. Right, so this is the take-up rate of strata landed housing. And three key factors today, this is my main topic. I want to share with you, moving forward, something might change in terms of the demand of strata landed because of some of the rule changes, because of the pandemics, and because of work from home, and because condominium maybe are getting smaller, because land costs are getting very high, developers are tending to build maybe a much smaller units moving forwards. Yeah, so in my own opinion, I find that these three factors it will already affect the demand of the strata landed property in Singapore moving forwards. Right, the first is the transaction, supply of the strata landed. So if you look at the whole supply in Singapore, this is actually an overall supply, including, of course, the conventional landed property. And we can see in the last 20 years, we have about 456,000 units of residential increment in the whole residential market. But condo already occupied 212,000 units. And of course, landed property only less than 8,000. Or in 20 years, less than 8,000. I think that's very, very rare. That's why landed property are already collectible items that due to the very limited supply in Singapore, the land scarce Singapore, and the pricing will continue to climb, including the strata-landed as well. And this is actually the last GLS for landed housing in Singapore, Lorong 1 Realty Park. This one was actually pushed, government pushed out in 2017, and it had attracted a lot of developers, I think 11 bids. And eventually Fantasia got the award. And now this plot of land is Parkwood Collection. They decided to build strata-landed after that. And 2017, this is the, after 2017, the next earliest land bid for landed property is 2013. That is Victoria Park, Victoria Villa. And after that, followed by October 2011, that is Chestnut Avenue, right? And now it's Michael Residences. And then 2011 is Serangoon Garden Way, and now it's housed at Garden, right? At Serangoon Garden. Right, so you can see the number of years, all this Sampawang is actually when government started to push out envelope control, a new concept to build landed property, and they push out many plot of land at the Sampawang Park or Sampawang Seaside there to test out this new concept of envelope control. Right, so that's the time whereby you can see a lot of supply coming into Sampawang Seaside area, right, during the 3 years. And after that, our land sales for landed property is really slowing down a lot. After like 4 years, 5 years, we get one plot of land, right? And because of lack of GLS, government land sales, we don't see a lot of new supply of big project moving forwards, or even in the last 10 years, we don't see a lot of projects that are catered to build landed property. Right, so total strata landed housing supply, this actually you can't find in any way. I take the time to go and compile all the recent launches and so on. Right, this is my finding. 2015, 83 units in total, right? And 2016, 163 units in total. All these are strata landed, including the strata landed in the condominium projects, 19 units. 2018, we have 95 units, and 2019, we have the most of 343 units, followed by 2020, 22 units. So in fact, in the last like 5-6 years, we don't have a lot of strata landed supply, right? This is what we have. Total only 725 units, 725. So there's not really a lot, right? It's not a lot. And because of that, then definitely if buyer, they want to buy, then they have quite limited choices, right? And let me see. Okay, so this supply, after you understand the supply, I want you to understand another new thing, which is the new guideline. Maybe a lot of you are not aware, unless your agent, really share with you all before, or you have known from somebody else. New guideline for strata landed housing was implemented in 2014. I think this is one important rule that for those people who are eyeing for strata landed, you have to take note. Right, and because this rule will really change the strata landed supply moving forwards. Right, before the old guideline, 30% developer has to set aside for communal space. When there's no greenery control, right, within this 30%, you can do anything you want. You can build swimming pools, you can build facilities. You don't have to cater for green control, right? And 100% of the site area are used to computing to how many units you are able to build on the plot of land by the developer, right? You can use the 100% of the plot size to do the computation of how many units you are able to build. But when come 2014, August 23rd, government changed, you already changed the rule, right? You can see actually it's quite a heavy burden to developer now. 30% for communal space now have to be 45%, or meaning they have less land to build houses, because they have to build the communal service like facilities and so on, right? And on top of that, they have to cater 25% for the green, It means they have to put plants, grass, the kind of green is 25% up from 0%. So there's another very, very heavy burden restriction to the developer, definitely. And they are only allowed to use 40% of the plot size. Imagine if you have 100,000 square feet of land, now only can use 40,000 square feet of land to do the computation on the number of units that you are able to build on this plot of land. So you can see they are actually governed by 3 new policies from URA. They are controlling the number of units that can build on the plot of land, right? In other words, on strata-landed, actually, the incentive for developer might not be very high because they have to put in a lot of costs to build basement, to build facilities. But end of the day, you don't get extra space, or you don't get many units. The number of units you are getting is very less, and that will affect your profit margins. So in other words, developer might not want to build this kind of project or this kind of strata-landed moving in the futures. Yeah, so future demand for strata-landed, this will be the situation, or low in supply because no incentive for them to build. And new condo size are getting smaller, and conventional landed price are getting higher because of the construction cost. Brand new one are getting so much more expensive today, right? And because of that, a lot of buyers next time they might have to turn to resale market to buy the strata-landed because you don't find new strata-landed moving into the market anymore, right? And this reminds me of the executive mansionettes that are happening now. Our mansionettes are very old already, but they are still able to command very high price because buyer cannot buy from HDB directly. HDB don't build mansionette anymore. And if that kind of situation apply in strata-landed market, strata-landed property, then I'm sure you are able to get good demand in the future because this is the only place that buyer can buy, which is the resale market. They cannot buy from the brand new developer units. So if that happens, the demand for strata-landed might be going up in the future. Yeah, so this is one thing that is really changing the whole strata-landed horizon based on my experience. Right, so what makes a good strata-landed project? Of course, not every strata-landed project can make money. I mean, I agree with all of you. Some of them are already making losses. Same to conventional landed property as well. I also see people making losses. If you go and check the URA, some of the transactions are really negative transaction, right? So to choose a good strata-landed project is very, very important. So in my experience, I think that these are a few things that really will contribute to a good strata-landed project, right? Big plot size. Big plot size is very important, and of course, nearby upcoming urban transformation, near amenities is important because you must understand who are the people who will be staying in the strata-landed house, right? So all these are of utmost important, and majority of them are actually from the condo upgraders. That is actually a main pool of strata-landed buyers. So you must understand who are the buyers. Then you will be able to find what are the good projects to go for. Right? And definitely public transportation is one of the very critical important elements, right? Of course, if you are able to get schools, I think it's a bonus. If not, I think it's still okay. But the first 4 points are something that I really think that is important so that you will be able to hold onto a good property that your value are able to preserve because the demand are there. A buyer will want to buy, and this is one of the projects that they will look out for if they really want to come into strata-landed market. Yeah, so these are some of the factors, but I don't have a lot of time. I'm only having like 4 minutes left, right? With this is one area whereby I think it's very interesting, Pasir Panjang, right? Landed property estimated is 1,000 units only, right? And here, Serangoon, if you compare to Serangoon Garden itself, right, it's already more than 4,000 units. So Pasir Panjang is one area whereby we have very limited landed supply. And this is the only area. The landed estate is sit right in the greater southern waterfront. No? So remember, I say urban transformation is one of the most important factors that will help you to push your property price up. And because of that, then I think if you are want to write onto the GSW, which is the Greater Southern Waterfront Development, then Pasir Panjang is one of the landed estate which is nearest to this particular area of transformation, right? So if you look at the whole transaction for D5 and D19, there's actually about 6.6 times. So it proves that the the D5 is really limited supply, right? It's really hold on, the cursor is not moving. Okay, D19 has 6.6 times more landed transaction than D5, right? So this is one of the area whereby it's having very limited stock for landed property, and GSW is there, and affordability, right? In the future, I think strata landed demand might be still there because it is really a good bridge between condominium and the conventional landed property will be getting higher, right? So it really filled up this gap for those buyers who inspire to be landed property owners, and the kids are still young and they want to enjoy good facilities. So that's whereby the demand of strata landed coming in, right? So this thing will fill up the gap between the condominium and the conventional landed property, and and because developer might not have the incentive to build any more new strata landed project moving forwards, right? So if buyer want, they really have to come into the resale market to buy. So that will really push the demand high in the secondary market for strata landed. Yeah, so you can see actually in D5, the PSF for strata landed also are picking up very, very fast, right? So these are the three factors. Good. And I see whether I got maybe a luxury to answer one or two questions, right? No, I don't. Is there any usually ended up with non-profit transaction? Yeah, like what I say, it depends. It depends on when are you selling, and if you understand what are the 5 main important factors that contributed to a good strata landed, that will determine what is the potential demand for your particular property. That's why you must understand who are the people who will stay in strata landed. That will help you to determine what are the good factors or which are the good products that you can buy. Yeah. So the 5 main points is actually through my years of experience. I study the buyers' demographics, and if you're having a property with the kind of factors, I'm sure, right? Yeah, you are able to sell it next time with a handsome profits, right? Foreigner buy strata landed located with condominium. This one is true in those development that are built 2012 and below and earlier, right? Because you already changed the rule in 2012, and all the strata landed in the condominium project will no longer be having a condominium titles. So foreigners, of course, they come buy. Today, all the strata landed are having strata landed titles, being you are in a condominium or you are a pure strata landed project. These are the things that everybody are equal, and you are having a landed title. So definitely only are open to Singaporeans.
Thank you, Jip.
Yeah. So with that, thank you very much, and yeah,
Thank
all
you
the best to all of you
for sharing.